I hope you got a chance to say goodbye to the plot because we lost it.
Just when you thought the news couldn't get any worse, Miss Shay Mitchell announces that she is releasing a skincare line for children tomorrow. Because why should your body dysmorphia start in your teens when it can start from birth?
In the interview, Shay Mitchell says that there wasn't a sheet mask that she can safely put on her kids. And I wonder why. I wonder why there isn't a sheet mask for 4-year-olds and toddlers. It's because they're not supposed to wear a sheet mask.
Because if you thought Sephora kids were bad, it's about to get a whole lot worse.
Hydrating, gentle, kid-friendly, parent-approved. Well, this parent does not approve.
The product we all needed is here, skincare for toddlers, so you can actually decompress after the long and stressful day at preschool. Shay Mitchell announced her new skincare line for children in an Instagram post saying, "This has been 3 years in the making, inspired by my girls, their curiosity, and all the little moments that made me realize how early it starts. From birthday parties and face paint to wanting to do what mommy does with her face masks. It was only a matter of time. Rini isn't about beauty, it's about self-care, about teaching our kids that taking care of themselves can be fun, gentle and safe." On the Rini website, we can find hydrogel and sheet masks which are said to be designed specifically for children as young as 4 years old. The masks are infused with ingredients such as aloe vera, chamomile, vitamin B12 and glycerin. When introducing the product, Shay posted pictures of several models who were probably like 5 to 7 years old wearing those masks. And I guess the weirdest picture for me was the one where a toddler is made to look like a grown woman, kind of like sitting in front of a mirror and appreciating herself. And I guess maybe for parents this is nothing weird because, kids play dress up, there's, nothing wrong with that. But because I am so used to seeing pictures like that of grown women, it was a little weird to me personally. And obviously, people on the internet had a lot to say about the brand, right? Like there were, I would say, two camps that formed. Camp number one was saying that, children already want to use skincare. What's wrong with having a product safe for them? Camp number two was more like, hey, maybe 4 is a little early to force beauty standards on a child. And even though I kind of maybe slightly lean more towards camp number 2, I do have to admit, Shay didn't start the trend of children using skincare, right? Like we've all since seen Sephora kids who use adult stuff on their very sensitive kid skin. So I feel like Shay or her team, whatever, saw that problem, saw that market and wanted to address it. And there are parents who are very happy about it. For example, one person on Instagram said, "I for one think this is a great idea. My 2-year-old is constantly trying to get into my makeup and skincare. And I would rather be able to include her with products safe for her than constantly tell her no, she can't do it. I don't know why so many people are so offended by this. I can't wait to be able to buy these for my daughter when she gets a little older and wants to try this with me. It's a relaxing way to bond with your child." Someone else on TikTok said, "As the parent of a 5-year-old who wants to be like mommy, it's genius. I don't like her using the adult stuff. I would rather stuff aimed at children that isn't going to damage her skin." So clearly, there are parents who see no issue and will probably buy this product for their kids. However, there are others who are a bit more critical of the brand.
And all we are doing by going down this direction of marketing beauty trends towards kids is creating early insecurity. Teaching them to focus on their looks this early in life is not self-care, it's conditioning.
Skincare is not a children's activity. Children's activities is reading, is playing sports, I don't know, learning some other type of skill that is not, you should look this way, therefore use this mask.
She looks about 5 years old. I really thought that children were off limits in terms of the marketing and greed of the beauty industry, but apparently not. Nothing is off limits.
And I'm like, are you guys kidding me? The issue here is not that kids are going to be putting active ingredients onto their face. It's that they're actually conceptualizing their value and their worth as something that they can buy and put on their skin, and that how they look is so important.
Even some dermatologists interviewed for Australian Broadcasting Corporation weren't convinced that the products were actually safe for children. One of them said that the only routine children needed was regular protection from the sun. There is no need to commence this type of routine in a child's life. regardless of testing, vegan, or EU compliance, it is completely unnecessary and irrelevant to the health of a child's skin. Another dermatologist said, just because a product has been safety tested, if we are using it unnecessarily, then there is still a big risk. Kids have a thinner skin barrier than adults do, so that means they are more likely to react to ingredients that might cause irritation. She also said that even if the products were safe for children's skin, that did not mean it was safe for their minds. Early exposure to these beauty products can really be detrimental to long-term mental health and self-esteem. And it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, I think anyone would agree that being exposed to beauty standards can cause self-esteem issues. I mean, look at my generation. When we were teenagers, we were using social media a lot, and the prevalence of eating disorders has risen like crazy during that time. But let's not act like this is the first brand that is producing skincare or makeup for children. I mean, I can distinctly remember being like 6 or 7 or something like this and playing with this, fake makeup. The difference is that was clearly a toy because it was such bad quality, it wouldn't even stay on your face for more than 30 minutes. So I don't know, I feel like it's a little different because of that, because it was marketed as a toy and not as a tool of making yourself look better. The same with skincare. I mean, there has been skincare directed at children since forever, but it's mostly been like, SPFs or some creams or a moisturizer, maybe a face wash here and there. And I don't think I've seen like a sheet mask for a child before. Although when you think about it, regular sheet masks kind of sometimes have that childish look about them, right? I mean, look at those. I bought them for like the thumbnail of the video, right? And even though this is in no way like directed at children or advertised to them, those masks kind of do have that look that would attract a child. I mean, the colors, there's like a panda on here, and then you put it on and you look like a panda, and it's also cute and like, something a kid would probably pay attention to. And also, it's not like Shay made the first sheet mask without like strong, harsh ingredients, right? Like they have existed for a long time too. So I don't think the product here in itself is the problem. I think it's the marketing and it's the advertising, because why would you use toddlers to advertise skincare? Like even if your products are good for kids starting from 4, maybe in the ad you could use like an 11 or 12-year-old so that it doesn't look so creepy. And I think that's what some people have a problem with. It's like we all had to face beauty standards at one point or another, and some of us did have self-esteem issues because of that. Like I'm definitely one of those people who had, I was so worried about how I look when I was like 10 or 11 or 12, and it's hard for me to imagine that same standard being pushed on like a 4 or 5 or 6-year-old. I mean, it does seem very premature to do that, and that's what this advertising is doing, right? Like it's supposed to put children in the center, and even the language used on the website is a little disturbing in my opinion. For example, our ultra hydrating hydrogel mask combines vitamin B12, glycerin, and red algae extract to deeply moisturize, leaving the skin calm, healthy, and glowing. Why does a child's skin need to be glowing? I mean, they have perfect skin on their own and they don't need to be glowing extra. They don't need a product for that. And if a kid has some problem and they don't have that glowing skin, maybe it's a case for a dermatologist and not a celebrity skincare brand. But even though this advertising is slightly weird, it's not actually directed at children. It's directed at parents, and that may make it even weirder.
This is clever marketing. It's not targeting toddlers. It's for parents who want to say yes and feel like they're doing the right thing.
In the past, if someone had a child who wanted to do skincare, they had to do the research themselves, right? They had to look up which ingredients are safe, which brands are good for, a kid. And now there is a brand which is making products specifically safe for children, and it's for parents like those who I showed you in the comments before. But what worries me is that we've already seen the rise of Sephora Kids. Now there is a brand which produces face masks specifically for toddlers. So what's next? Because I can already imagine like a whole line of anti-aging creams and serums, which you are supposed to start using at 5 years old. Shay Mitchell said in an Instagram post that she made those products to teach children to take care of themselves. But in my opinion, teaching children self-care shouldn't be about teaching them to use a sheet mask after a long day. It should be about teaching them to brush their teeth, to use SPF, to take a shower every day. I really don't feel like we need to add another self-care product to their routine. The only thing that's slightly making me reconsider my stance that children don't need skincare at all is something Isabel, a skincare creator, said in a TikTok.
Is that when I was growing up, I was never, ever allowed to have Barbie dolls. And therefore, I completely started obsessing over looks and appearance. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not allowed to have this thing because it is so significant and so important and it's just out of my reach. I was never allowed to play with Barbies. And I really started thinking, oh my God, like looks must be everything. So some part of me is like, maybe if we keep skincare out of reach of our kids and we don't have these conversations with them openly, that actually might make the problem worse.
I didn't think about it at first, but to be honest with you, I have to kind of agree with her. I mean, if we keep something specifically out of reach for children, they are going to put value on it. I mean, it makes me think of, for example, children who aren't allowed to drink Coke, and then they go to like some special event and the parent says, okay, you can drink Coke, and they drink all the Coke they can see. Or like, I have so many friends who had very strict parents and they were never allowed to go out, and after they moved out, they would party so much just to kind of, I don't know, make up for it. So maybe this type of skincare will be enough to satisfy this need in children, and they won't put as much value on skincare in the future. Still, it doesn't convince me that we should be advertising sheet masks using 5-year-old kids. I mean, imagine like a 10-year-old girl seeing this ad and feeling like she's already kind of late to the game, because if toddlers have a skincare routine, then so should she, and that would probably push her to use products that she doesn't need at all. So children's curiosity isn't the problem. The products aren't the problem. It's the narrative that those ads push that's so problematic.